Hello friends, welcome to our channel Cbse English, the Topper's Choice. In today's video, we are going to discuss class 12th second poem from the book Flamingo, an elementary school classroom in a slum. Here we go. At the beginning, we'll talk about the poet of this poem. Stephen Spender is the poet of this poem. Stephen Spender, who lived between 1909 and 1995, was an English poet and an essayist. He left University College, Oxford without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Spender took a keen interest in politics and declared himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Books by Spender include Poems of Dedication, The Age of Being, The Creative Element, The Struggle of the Modern, and an autobiography, World Within World. Introduction to this poem. The poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender, presents a true picture of the life of the school children living in the slum of Tyrolese Valley of Austrian Alpine province. The children are in a very miserable condition due to their poverty and illiteracy. They are depressed. Their pale faces express sadness. They look lean, skinny, and bony. They are like rootless weeds which can't resist anything for their existence. They are physically very weak and undernourished. Spender voices his concern for the children who live all their life in slums and have no opportunity to enjoy the real blessings of life. He makes a frantic appeal to the educated and affluent sections of the society to better the lot of the slum children through education. It will remove social injustice and class inequality. Theme of this poem. In this poem, Stephen Spender deals with the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. He presents the theme by talking of two different and incompatible worlds. The world of the rich and the civilized has nothing to do with the world of narrow lanes and cramped holes. The gap between these two worlds highlights social disparities and class inequalities. Now we'll discuss the summary of this poem. This poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender, gives a vivid description of a school classroom in a slum and the children in the class. The faces of the children are dull. Their appearance shows that they are unwanted. The children have gloomy faces, their heads hanging low in sadness due to being poor. They have diseased bodies inherited from their parents and are victims of poverty. At the dim end of the room sits one child who has bright eyes which seem to dream of playing outside with squirrels. He is different from the others in the dim, dark room. The walls of the classroom are dirty. People have donated different charts and images which have been put up on them. One of them is a picture of the great playwright Shakespeare. His head is bald and resembles the rising sun. The next poster is of the Tyrolese Valley, full of churches and flowers which symbolizes the beautiful creations of nature. Another one is a map of the world. To these children, the world is not the one shown in these pictures, but it is the one they see out of the classroom window. They are trapped in the slums. Their future is dim and hopeless. They have a dark future as their options in life are limited and are covered with dismay. They are far away from the bright light of knowledge. Comprehending these pictures is beyond their abilities. They hate everyone, and for them, Shakespeare is a wicked man, as no one loves them. They dislike everyone. The desire for love and acceptance forces them to do crimes like stealing. The children are so skinny that their clothes are like a skin and their skeleton is visible through them. This is due to lack of nutrition. They have worn looking glasses made of steel which are cheap, heavy and uncomfortable. Their chances of fulfilling their dreams and moving out have been further reduced by building bigger slums. Until they come out of the slums, they will never know what the world looks like. The government system which makes these slums is the cause for these people to live in them. The education system is such that it forces them to live in these slums. They are not given the right to dream beyond these slums. They have been restricted to the slums. The poet requests the authorities to allow the children to go out of these slums so that the maps on the walls of the classroom become a reality for them. They should be taken to the green fields rather than the dim slums. The sunny, warm sand of the beaches and the bright blue sky will instill a hunger for knowledge in their minds. Then they will absorb all of it. Then the children will become economically empowered. The poem ends with a powerful line. Those who make history are the ones who shine like the sun. Now we'll discuss the literary devices used in this poem. Number 1. Rhyme scheme. The poem does not have rhyme scheme. This poem has been written in a free verse. Number 2. Simile. In simile, the comparison of one thing is made with another thing of a different kind to make a description more emphatic or vivid. Simile has been used in these examples of the poem, like rootless weeds, like bottle bits on stones, like catacombs, slums as big as domes. Number 3. Metaphor. In metaphor, a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. And metaphor has been used in these lines of the poem. Rat's eyes, father's gnarled disease, squirrel's head, tree room, futures painted with fog, lead sky, spectacles of steel. Allusion. An allusion is a figure of speech that references a person, place, thing, or event. In this example of the poem, allusion, this figure of speech has been used. Shakespeare's head and Tyrolese valley. Repetition. Repetition is a literary device that involves intentionally using a word or phrase for effect 2 or more times. Example in this poem, far, far from gusty waves. Here the word far is repeated. Number 6. Anaphora. Use of repeated words in two consecutive lines. Anaphora has been used in these lines of the poem. Run azure on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. Here, the word run is repeated at the beginning of these two consecutive lines. Symbols and images. So, symbols and images have been used in the following examples in this poem. Paper seeming boy, saw cream walls, rootless weeds, twisted bones, Shakespeare's head, open-handed map, ship and sun, framed holes, and gusty waves. Now we'll discuss the main points of this poem. In this poem, the poet focuses on the theme of social injustice and inequalities. He presents the pathetic and miserable picture of the elementary classroom in a slum. These children have pale and lifeless faces. They are like rootless weeds which are uncared and unwanted, with their disorderly hair torn around their faces. They are depressed and oppressed with the burdens of life and keep their heads down. They have stunted growth. They inherit the diseases of their father. Some of them do have dreams. A sweet young boy is sitting at the back of the dim classroom. He is dreaming of a squirrel's game in the trees and probably other interesting things. The walls are dirty and creamy, and on them are hung the donations given by the rich and also Shakespeare's portrait. A civilized dome found in the cities and Tyrolese valleys with beautiful flowers are also put up. The map on the wall shows the children the beautiful world outside. But for these children of the slum, it is meaningless. The children studying in these schools do not have the means to go and explore the world. For them, what they see through their classroom windows, the narrow street and the lead sky is the world. Shakespeare is wicked for them, as he has written only about the rich, beautiful world tempting them to steal. The map is of no interest to them because it does not reflect the world they live in, cramped and dark lanes. Their lives start in darkness and ends in utter darkness. They are undernourished and their poverty has distorted their vision as they spend their whole time in foggy slums. The poet feels that the map, which shows beautiful and exotic places, should be replaced with slums, as it is not the world they live in. Unless the governor, inspector, and visitor play a vital role in bringing about a change, their lives will remain in dark. The slum children will be able to peep through the window only when the gap between the two worlds is bridged. They should break the barriers till they come out of the dirty surroundings, and their world should be extended into the green fields, golden sands, and bright world. They should have the freedom of expression and their outlook be broadened. For only the educated and learned people can create history whose language has strength and power like sun. So dear friends, if you have liked this video, please click on like, subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon to get more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching.